I just filmed 8 minutes of me applying foundation and concealer without any sound. I love that for me. So I'm doing a Q&A. Hello, welcome to my channel. We're doing a Q&A. I can't believe I literally have a sign here that says turn mic on. I don't even take my own advice. Anyways, welcome. I'm gonna do a Q&A. I'm just gonna get ready. I'm wearing this super cute top. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that. I'm not naked, I promise. I have a very cute top on. If I can find it online, I will link it down below, together with everything that's on my face. I did put on the new Laura Mercier concealer and the Fenty East Drop Stick. I really like both of them. They've been good to me. I had a couple of questions and I already answered them, but let me just quickly answer them again, because my first answer was, well, mute. So the first one is, does healthcare worry you when you're in the US? Quick answer, yes. I am a Swede living in Texas, US, and I mean, as a Swede, we don't really pay for healthcare. I have to pay for a insurance here, but the thing that scares me with insurance is that, like, it doesn't really, for me, as someone who's used to something else, it doesn't really mean anything. The insurance company can just be like, oh no, I'm sorry, we're not covering this. Even though I pay almost $400 a month for my insurance. And the thought of me paying more than I have ever paid for healthcare in my life. If I put everything together, what I've paid for healthcare in Sweden, because I say it's free, but it's like almost free, it does not amount to $400. And I pay that a month here in the US. And still, I don't know if it's gonna cover if something happens or not. So yeah, I worry a lot, actually. That's actually one thing that I worry about a lot. And I find it so fascinating because people say, like, oh, I'd rather pay for insurance than pay for it on taxes, which to me is crazy, because in Sweden, it's the employers, like, that are paying for the healthcare, not the employees, the employer. They're the ones paying for healthcare. Not you, as like yo working at Starbucks. You're not paying for healthcare. Your employer is. Starbucks is. So for me, it's fascinating how people would rather have really expensive health insurances than just have their employer have to pay that in tax. But again, it's just different cultures and what we're used to, I guess. But yes, I definitely worry about that a lot. Ooh, someone is asking me, what's your favorite Sarah J. Maas character and why? Menon. Menon, and every other answer is incorrect. I'm sorry, you're incorrect. Go back, sit in your corner. The only correct answer is Menon. I will take no further questions. What do you miss, if any, about Sweden? I find it so fascinating when people are like, you changed when you moved to the US. I'm like, I had to. I had to make changes in me and in my attitude to be able to get through moving to such a different country for such a long time. Me and my husband were now on year 3, which is crazy, here in Texas, and I miss so many things about Sweden and so many things about Europe all of the time. I miss being able to walk places. I feel so stuck here. I miss public transport. I miss our grocery stores. I miss hearing people talk my language. I never thought I'd miss Swedish. To my core, I am a person who tries to stay very positive. I try to see the best in every situation. So like, now I'm in the US. I was gonna say there's not much I can do about it. Of course there is. I can always move back, but me and my husband can't move back without botching my husband's career. And he's put a lot of time and effort into this career. He's in academia. So we kind of have to sit this one out, basically, before we can do anything about it. So why be upset about something that I literally cannot... I can't do anything about it right now. Like, we are here. I have to do the best of the situation. So I try to be excited about the things that I do like. The fact that I'm very close to my friends here in the US and I'm able to visit them all the time. That is something that I'm trying to like grasp onto. The fact that I'm able to visit some of those places that's really hard to visit from Europe, like Disneyland and Vegas and LA, and I'm trying to grab on to every opportunity. The fact that I can shop drugstore makeup without paying. I mean, I know people now talk about like, oh, drugstore makeup is so expensive, but it's even more expensive in Europe. So the fact that I'm able to take advantage and find those things readily available, I try to like look at the best I can with the situation, because like there's no point in me being all sad and mopey about something that's like I can't really do anything about that right now. We are where we are. Are we gonna move back to Europe? I would be very surprised if we don't. Let me just put it like that. If my husband gets a really good opportunity here in the US and he wants to stay, I love my husband and I know he loves his career, I would probably do it for him. I'm gonna be honest, I probably would. But with that being said, I would want to move somewhere that's more like Europe. I need to be able to walk places. I need to be able to walk to a coffee shop. I need to be able to walk to a grocery store, to the movies. I don't know. Do you get it? Like somewhere that like is a little bit more the things that I miss with Europe. But preferably I'd like to move back to Europe. Not because I think that the US is like awful or that it's horrible, or there are good and bad things about every place in the world, including Europe. But you only have one life, and I have noticed the older that I get is that I kind of want some things to just be comfortable. What I'm used to, I just want them to be nice and comfortable, and that's a little bit how Europe is. It's a nice, comfortable sweater. I know exactly how this sweater wears. I know exactly what it's gonna do for me, and I feel comfy and at home in it. Someone is also asking next Cinch release when? Girl, we're both wondering that. If there's one thing I've learned, I run my own beauty brand, Cinch Beauty. We do these brushes, the yellow handle brushes. If you ever see that with any creator, thank you so much for tagging me, by the way, when you see creators using them. It makes me so happy. You have no idea. It makes me really, really happy. And it makes me so happy to see you look out for me and look out for Singe. It really makes me super happy. So yeah, my goal this year is to have 3 releases. I had a restock of my brushes and my goal is to have 3 releases this year. And my goal was to have my first release in March, and I don't think that's possible. If there's one thing I have noticed, it is that things take so much longer than I thought with stuff, because I have done collabs before. I've done 2 collabs with Oden and 1 with Kaleidos. I've done some collabs with some, like I've done the favorite set with Sigma, and I've worked with bundles with Cleonad and bundle with Divina, all like brands that I really, really enjoy. And if there's one thing that I have learned, it is that there is a lot of time going into stuff that I didn't know about. Packaging, don't get me started. Packaging and just... there's so much back and forth on so many things that I quite literally had no idea about. And it's such a learning process. And it's also made me consider the fact that my releases for this year has taken me so much longer than I thought. My next release, I've worked on it for a year and it's still not here. And the fact that I'm learning that now, it has made me start working on my releases for 2025, because I'm like, wow, I had no idea. But it's nice though. It's nice to learn these things, and it is so much fun, but it is also so hard. And I was even telling my friends this morning, remember when we started YouTube and everything was so difficult and we didn't understand anything, and we looked at like the analytics and we didn't understand anything of the analytics. Remember how difficult that felt back then, and remember how easy, quote unquote, it feels now. You know exactly where to look in analytics to find something. Uploading a video is so much easier. Editing is so much easier. And I told them I look forward to when things that feel so difficult right now with Singe feels easy. Like I know what I'm doing. Because I know what I'm doing when it comes to what is a good product, but there is a lot of loose parts that goes into projects. I'm just gonna do a little bit of lip liner. I started using this lip liner. It's from Iconic London. It is a Material Girl, I think. Yes. I started using this after the video. Other creators love these products. I basically only use this lip liner. It is It's so good. I used this one with an orange lip liner and I didn't really love that, but I have been using this one since then with a nude lip liner and then putting a gloss on top, and I've been loving it. I'm gonna use this one from Lawless. It is in Nudie. I think this is one of the new ones because I just got sent this as PR. I think that looks really cute. I think. We'll see how it all works out. I got a PR package from Nomad Cosmetics and they sent me this quad. So I thought that we were gonna play with that one. I don't know what it's called. The Romance Palette, that's what it's called. So I think we're gonna dig into that one. There is a multichrome here that is like this pink to a green. I don't know if you can see, but there is a green, but I'm not gonna use that. I'm gonna use this topper instead. That is a goldy peach, but I'm gonna be using these two matte shadows first. How are you dealing with politics and gun laws in Texas? I feel like I'd be terrified. Not gonna lie, the first time me and my husband saw someone wearing an open carry gun, we were kind of terrified because that's such a different sight for us. I think I'm dealing with it okay because of what I said before, which is I know I'm not gonna stay here for the rest of my life. And I think for that reason, it's easier for me to deal with because I know that this isn't gonna be my normal forever. Ooh, this one. Your thoughts on the new FDA laws on pigments. Okay, FDA has decided instead of doing the research that other parts of the world has done, proving that the vegan red pigments are actually eye safe and can be used in eyeshadows, but they can stain a bit. And of course, anyone can be sensitive to anything, but I can almost tell you right now that less people are sensitive, like actually sensitive and not just like getting a stain from those vegan red pigments than people are actually sensitive towards milk, gluten, nuts, eggs. So I don't understand why the FDA can't get a little funding from the government to just do this research and just get with the program, because everybody else did this research and they all got to the conclusion these pigments are not dangerous, they just like can stain your eyes a bit. And this has been the reason why you sometimes see like pigment palette or pressed pigment palette or artistry palette, or like you see those like not meant around the immediate eye area. It has nothing to do with the shadows being dangerous or anything like that. It has to do with the American FDA laws. And I know this is a little blurry, but now the FDA has decided to really double down on this, and they're gonna make it even harder for brands to quite honestly stay vegan. That's what's happening. And I have already seen some brands that used to be vegan no longer being vegan, sold at Sephora or bigger brands, because they don't want to deal with this FDA BS, honestly. And I know the FDA is doing it because they want to like fix like the counterfeit makeup that's being sold with inaccurate ingredient lists on like Amazon and AliExpress and all of that. And it's like, yes, and that is good. Please, let's deal with that. But now they're making it really, really hard for brands to stay vegan. So if you are very much against non-vegan brands, and you see that one of your favorite brands is switching to Carmine, give them a little break. Just try to be a little nice to them, because it might actually be impossible for some brands to stay vegan the way that the FDA is changing the rules. And this law is fully coming into effect on, I think it is April 1st or April last. April this year. So yeah, it's honestly a little crazy, and I am a little surprised that the FDA just cannot get funding to just deal with this problem of being a little behind, instead of just doubling down and being like, now nobody can have vegan pigments, because I think that all of us can agree that an eyeball in the EU is pretty much the same as an eyeball in other places. And these pigments that they are now banning to be used in eyeshadows, they're legal to have in food in the US. So the FDA is saying you can eat them, but you cannot put them on your eyelids. It is very backwards. Someone is asking, would you miss the work opportunities you have here if you went back to Sweden? I don't know if the work opportunities per se would change. What would change is more, I wouldn't be able to attend some of the events that I've been able to attend now, and I wouldn't be able to like hang out with my friends as much. I don't know if the opportunities per se is that much connected to the US, because like where I am doesn't really change where my audience is. But it would definitely make it a little harder to attend like events and stuff for sure. Ooh, that is really, really pretty. I get a lot of questions asking about my future Cinch releases. I will talk more about that when we actually like get closer to it. Ooh, this is an interesting one because it's almost like a little tea. And this one is, when you do a collab, do you get feedback on sale figures, and does that affect how you get paid? I can only answer for myself, and of course I am under contract, so I'm not able to like disclose any exact figures. But I would assume that most people get paid in the same way that I get paid, which is that you get a percentage of each sale. So if I create a palette that nobody wants, what I get paid, of course, is less. Because at the end of the day, the brand is doing, you're putting your name on it. So like I'm of course putting my reputation on the line for a brand to create something good, but the financial burden is 1,000,000% on the brand. They're the ones forking out all the money to create the palettes, to create the packaging, to market, in proper channels, having the website, all of that. And I can tell you, when you do makeup, you have to pay for it when it's being produced. This goes for like brushes and everything. You don't pay for it when you have money. No. You have to have the money. And I know a lot of people are talking about, oh, the margins are so great on makeup. It's not as crazy as some people think if you do like high quality products. So creating a collab with an influencer, even if that influencer doesn't get paid up front, there is still a lot of money that you have to fork up to like buy the inventory, and then just hope that the influencer actually, I don't know, sells the product basically. Because of that, of course, at least I have in my contract that they have to tell me how much they're selling, because otherwise how they're gonna pay me. But I'm sure there are different influencers that have different kinds of contracts. Some might get paid in the beginning as a lump sum, like I don't know. I prefer getting paid per like item sold, because that means that I have to put out something that I'm proud of, something that I like. Otherwise, if I don't put out something good, nobody's gonna want to buy it basically. So this is that like light shade here, the duochrome or multichrome. I'm not 100% sure. That's really pretty. I'm gonna see if I can spray that a little bit. I thought that this was an interesting one because I don't want to be like a gossipy tea person, but this one was asking, because I mentioned this on my vlog channel. I have a vlog channel. I upload sporadically. Thoughts on Shroud Cosmetics situation? What happens when an indie brand ghosts? And I think that this was a really interesting question because it also opens up to not only this Shroud Cosmetics situation, but also like as a whole, what happens when a brand is so small that when the brand owner disappears, the only one that is working on the company, who's really keeping people informed of what's going on? Shroud Cosmetics is a brand that is owned and run by one woman. I think it is a one-woman show. If she has anyone to help her, I have no idea. But the owner disappeared, literally from the face of the internet. She did not make any updates and she did not ship out any orders. And this was going on for months, like months. The brand owner was just, quite honestly, missing. And nobody knows what was going on. Nobody could get a hold of her and nobody's orders were getting shipped, which is obviously a problem. People were kind of understanding that probably something serious happened, because like a person would not just leave their company, their income, just like that without like a legitimate reason. But it does raise the question that she's asking here, which is, what happens when an indie brand just ghosts and disappears? And I can only speak for me. I think the biggest problem here, because now the owner is back and she has made some kind of a declaration that she had a medical emergency, which absolutely prohibited her from coming back to the brand or shipping out products, which I think everyone would understand if someone had said something, because you cannot be the only person working on the brand. You need to have some kind of a fail-safe, a brother, a husband, a coworker, a friend, someone that has access to your social media that can go on and say, hey, this brand owner, they're not able to work on this company for a bit. If you want to cancel your orders, I will help you, but unfortunately, this is what it is. But just ghosting everyone, your paying customers, without anyone saying anything, I think that is a problem. And I hope that other brands see this and realize that, oh, I do need to have someone to help me if something happens to me, so that I just don't disappear from like the face of the earth. I'm happy to see the owner back. I really do. I'm happy to see Shroud back, but I hope that she as well has learned something from this, that you just can't disappear. This is very pretty, but I'm gonna add just a little bit of a peach matte as an inner corner highlight before I put on like falsies and lashes. Linda was asking me, what's your ultimate money is no object luxury fashion dream item? Listen, Linda, if you see me in one of those like super fancy like Hermes bags, or those really expensive, like even now the Chanel flap is like $5,000-$6,000, and that is just, I would never pay that unless literally was not like money was not an object. But I also don't think that, like, would I buy that if I had that kind of money? Maybe. I do love fashion, but like, I don't know. I would love to be able to afford more like fashion pieces. There are like really well designed fashion pieces. I'm not a logo person. Like, I don't need things to be like, oh, I don't need them to be expensive or designer. I just happen to want to pay for the thing that actually did the design. And that's why I like saving up and buying like the one thing, so that I can like pay the designer for the design that they did, basically. So I'm more of a quality over quantity when it comes to like fashion, but that doesn't mean that I'm paying, I mean, an Hermes is over 10,000 for a bag. That's bananas. I love this one because it's, how do you handle arguing with your husband? I might be doing it wrong. Okay. Sometimes when me and my husband arguing, everybody's arguing. And even though I'm like, I know I'm right, and he's saying he knows he's right, I remind myself, I love him more, I love us more than I love being right. And I just drop it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. And I know that sometimes he does the same. He thinks he's right, I think I'm right, and he just drops it because it's not worth it. Do you still plan on doing collabs now that you have Cinch? No. Unless it's something a little bit different, but no. The collab that I have right now with Oden, we still have some left. That will most probably be the last collab I ever do, unless something happens. But yeah, I don't see myself doing more collabs, if I'm gonna be honest. Okay, I'm just gonna put on some lashes. These are the Smoky Lashes by V. Well, this is just the box. The lashes are right here. Those are the half lashes that I usually use. They're really flared and beautiful. So I'm gonna fix these, and I'm gonna do one last question. You bought a house, you created your own brand, and you have success on YouTube. Congrats ×3. Thank you so much. Next goal. Okay, this is very interesting because I feel like for me, my end goal was always, I'm trying to put the glue off, was always to own my own house. I was never the kind of person that was like, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to own my own brand. I want to be my own boss. I was never that person. I was the person that was like, I want to have a 9 to 5. I want to have job security. I want to have a job that I go to every day and just have the security and have in Sweden you have 5 weeks of vacation. And I was like, I just want that. I don't want any of this other stuff. And clearly with time that has changed a bit, and I'm now doing my own thing. And I think my next goal is to just, I want to do more things with Cinch because it is so much fun. And I told you at the end of 2023, that I wanted to release more kinds of products with Singe than just brushes. And that is still my goal. That is still what I'm trying to do. It's just taking so long, but also like all these little hurdles and the people that I'm working with, the vendors and the contractors and everyone that I'm working with, like the copyright lawyers and trademark lawyers and all of that, like they're so kind and helpful, and I've just had a blast. But that doesn't mean that I'm not like a little overwhelmed and that it's not like super tricky. But I think that like my next goal is to like actually, I don't want to grow. I'm not looking to make like, you know, some people are like, I'm gonna build an empire. That's not me. I don't want to have an empire, but I would like to have a nice little brand that offer a couple of more products. I want to expand on my website. I want to do more things. My goal is actually to open, and maybe I've even done that when you're seeing this, who knows, but I want to open TikTok shop because I think that like TikTok, I've been enjoying TikTok more. I've been enjoying the opportunity of TikTok and how fun it's been. So that is one of the things that I've been wanting to do. So I definitely have plans and dreams, but right now I feel like most of them are like for Cinch. I think like with my YouTube, like what I'm doing right now on YouTube, it's not what's really popular on YouTube right now. People are not super interested in seeing tutorials and get ready with me's and like dedicated reviews and stuff like that. Like, not that like it's uninteresting, but it's less people that are interested in that kind of content. And I'm super grateful that you still love it as much as I do, so that we can like have this together. So there's no point in me being like, oh my God, I'm gonna expand on my YouTube channel, because what I like to do on YouTube is not really what's like popular on YouTube anymore. So I feel like it's better for me to put even more thought and like energy into Cinch, because it's just so fun, and not overwork myself with YouTube and just keep YouTube light and fun too. So me uploading 3 videos a week with YouTube, sometimes 4 if there's a bonus video, has really been a blessing for me, because not only have I had more time to read and hang out with my friends and do stuff and sleep in. Oh, I slept in last weekend. It was lovely. Also, I've been able to devote even more time on Singe. I was even telling my friend Linda, who had this question here, I was sitting a couple of weeks ago, and I spent 3 hours trying to register it for TikTok shop. It was so difficult, and there is no way that I would have had those extra 3 hours to do that had I not decided to only do 3 YouTube videos a week. So it's been a wonderful thing to have this like extra time for me and for Singe and for just learning new things and exploring new avenues, and just, I don't know. I don't want Singe to be just oh, this was easy, I'll just release whatever. I'd rather like make it a little like, sometimes I do be making it a little difficult for myself, but I'd rather make it difficult for myself and release something that I'm like super, super proud of, and it take a little extra time than for me to rush something. And I'm very grateful that I've had the time to really dive into some of these questions. And that's been really lovely. So I think that's my next goal, of just like being able to do the things that I have planned for Singe and actually like executing. And I also have some travels planned this year. I'm traveling with friends, I'm traveling with my husband, I'm traveling with my subscribers to Italy in August. I can leave that down below. As I'm filming this, I still have 1 spot left, and I am so excited. We're having so much, like, reading all of your messages in the Italy group chat is just so amazing. People are talking about their outfits. And I think that like my goal right now is just to enjoy. I've made a really good plan, a really good setup for 2024. And my goal is just to execute that and enjoy the ride. Anyways, that is it. My look is finished. I think I look fine. I will say this quad, I think it works out really good, but I was expecting something a little bit more intense, but I think overall this looks really cute. I feel cute, I'm gonna film one more video, a video that you probably already have seen. Thank you so much for giving me questions and for giving me things to talk about. And if I didn't get to your question, I'm really sorry, but I did get hundreds and hundreds of different questions. So I'm trying to get to the ones that I either haven't answered before or that I'm like just really intrigued to answer. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you soon in a new video. Bye!